On this episode of Ghost Hunters International, the team takes over a French chateau used as a Nazi post during World War II.
What was that? I thought I heard a girl's voice. That sounded almost like a little scream.
The end of the night is just the beginning of the investigation.
Something bizarre just happened a few moments ago.
The evidence so startling that Dustin gives an unprecedented warning.
What we're going to play for you now may be a little bit disturbing.
Then GHI heads to a Paris landmark that never sees the light of day.
People have died down here from getting lost.
It's so dark.
What spirits have been trapped in the quarries below the City of Lights?
What the hell was that? Hey guys, welcome to Bordeaux, France. As you can see by the vineyards all around us, this is one of the world's homes for winemaking. And I'm really excited that we have a case here. This place is gorgeous. It's kind of got that old country feel. All right, Brandy's telling me that we have a case that will actually match the beauty that we're seeing around us. So she's going to tell us about that.
Hey guys, we're headed to the Chateau La Gorge, which was built in the 15th century. Its history is quite extensive. It has seen its fair share of feudal wars for about 300 years worth. And the chateau has changed owners throughout the years many times. It was home to some of the wealthiest noblemen, as well as a German general during World War II. And a lot of the area during that time was actually taken over by the Germans. The claims of paranormal activity include full-bodied apparitions of soldiers and little girls, as well as black shadows, white shadows, footsteps, strange lights, and there are even voices that yell, "Get out and fight."
All right, if my directions are correct, that's it right there. Hey.
Hi, I'm Edward. Nice to meet you. Welcome to Chateau La Gorge. This chateau is a very old chateau. For example, the chapel behind you was renovated in 1645.
We understand that you have quite the abundance of paranormal activity.
Yeah. Generally, when guests arrive, I obviously don't mention it because people won't sleep very well.
Well, if you wouldn't mind taking us around and showing us where they've been reporting all this.
Sure.
All right.
Okay.
After you.
We were having a really big meal with a lot of people coming over from Edward's family, and a lot of people heard some piano notes playing over the chateau. And, well, the chateau does not have a piano or any musical instruments that can make that kind of noise.
So this is the entrance hall. I was in here on my own. I looked up and I saw a shadow move along this corridor here.
When you saw this figure come across, were you able to tell any features or anything, or was it more just kind of a shadow?
The way I remember it was being almost shadowy kind of mist. It frightened me that night when I turned the light off because, you know, you're on your own.
So, shall we head upstairs?
Yeah, sure. So this is bedroom 3. In this bedroom, the lady that was sleeping in the bed woke up about 2:30 time, and she heard what sounded like a lady running down the corridor shouting, "Bagarre, bagarre, bagarre." Bagarre, in fact, means fight. So she was chanting, "Fight, fight, fight, fight."
Was this someone who sounded angry, excited?
She sounded almost scared about it, as if warning that there's a fight.
Okay. Shall we keep on?
Yeah. So this is bedroom 4. My sister was asleep in here during the day, and she remembered seeing a little girl come to her in the bedroom and said, "Don't worry, you know, nothing's going to come to harm. It's a very nice place to live. We used to live here."
There's definitely some interesting activity when we're talking about, you know, these full apparitions with this communication. Work cut out for us in here, indeed. All right, shall we head on?
Yep. This is room number 9. I've had a lady who was a guest who had an experience. She said, in the room that I was in, bedroom 9, you got a very nasty spirit. And he said to me, "What are you doing here? Get out of my chateau." Another experience that's been in here, my mum had a vision out of this room onto the courtyard.
What'd she see?
She saw a group of men on the terrace, and they kind of made their way across the courtyard. Somebody asked her if they came across the courtyard, did they not bang into any of the tables or the tree? And she said, no, none of that was there. It just was a completely different period of time.
We've dealt with things before where these time slips where people see not just, you know, a spirit, but an entire scene going on. So it's definitely not unheard of.
So should we head down to the caves now?
I didn't know we had caves.
Now, Edward, did the Germans seize the chateau?
Yes, the Germans, apparently all the chateaux around the area, including this one, did have German generals staying here.
Do you think that people were being hidden here by the owners of this chateau?
It's a very good possibility. So these are the caves down here. The entrance is a little small, but then it opens out once you get in there.
Okay.
So it kind of opens up quite a lot here, and soon you'll be able to stand up. Mind the hole on your left, though.
So there is some evidence that people might have been staying down here at one point.
Yeah, again, a lot of the writing on the ceiling is times around the war.
And definitely with the occupation, there would be reason to be hiding out.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
So we're out of season. You know, we've got no guests. The place is yours for as long as you want it.
If we could stay here, that'd actually be terrific.
Okay, brilliant.
We're gonna go grab our bags, grab our equipment, start getting set up.
Thanks a lot.
All right, we'll see you soon.
Cheers.
The nice thing about our client Edward is that he's had a lot of these experiences himself, but things have also happened to people that he's talked to back up his own claims. So that's nice for us to go on because it's not just one account.
Okay, I'm gonna adjust the camera for the stairs.
We're in a good position where we've got a big opportunity to explore this entire location, top to bottom, and see if really there is anything going on here. That is good to go.
Ready for an active night.
You run through the cameras here for me?
What we have got is a camera in the corridor. The other side of that is backed up with camera 3, where the apparition of the dark figure is said to walk back and forward. Camera number 4 and 5 are both in room 6.
All right, well, the camera angles look great. We have a ton of stuff to get through tonight. It's pretty much every room. So let's get the lights out and get to it.
All right.
Joe and Rob in room 9. We heard stories that there's a very angry man in here. Are you here with us? What are you so angry about? Joe and I were investigating room 9. One of the reports of activity is unusual knocks, bangs, these strange sounds. You want me to leave? You want to confront us? This thing make noise?
Yeah, I thought I heard something by the mantle.
Why the hell is this thing making noise? It's not on.
It's not wound.
Come forward. We are here to help you. You ready? Are you near that light? Show us.
Doesn't it go off?
What the hell's going on? I've never seen my camera do this before. I had the camera set on a timer. It ticks down, goes to take the shot, stops, won't take a picture. I've never seen it happen before. Can you manifest your rage and anger? Can you demonstrate how angry you are? Speak out. Joe and Rob in room 9. We heard stories that there's a very angry man in here. Can you demonstrate how angry you are?
It sounded like your walkie. Do you have the walkie on you?
But there's nobody on this channel. Someone trying to get a hold of me? This is Rob. Go ahead. I didn't touch it. Is it, do you need a message delivered?
Why's my flashlight acting funny?
What the hell's going on around here? Your flashlight goes haywire. My walkie-talkie started making noises by itself. All of this seemingly in conjunction with questions we were asking. Okay, we can hear you. So you need us to get a message out. Who do you need us to speak to? We had a lot of equipment running at the time, so I'm really hoping that if there was a message, if there was some kind of spirit there, that they were able to get that message out to us.
I'm going to be running thermal.
Okay.
And the full spectrum. The full spectrum camera allows us to see into the 3 very prominent light spectrums: infrared, visible, and ultraviolet. My research has shown me that a lot of the activity that we'll be looking for will be in the ultraviolet spectrum.
Now, Barry, what happened in this room?
We were told about the priest walking in, and I heard the whisper.
Okay.
EVP session, Barry and Angela in room 10.
I'd like to ask if anyone is here with us tonight. Is there any way you could please come forward? My name is Angela, and this is Barry. Can you please give us a sign that you're here with us?
Batteries just went in the thermal.
Really?
The screen display is telling me full battery life.
Are you the one responsible for draining the power in this room?
It's gone again. Thermal's gone.
Really?
And I know that was a fresh battery because I put it in myself.
I saw you put it in tonight.
One theory suggests that when spirits are looking to manifest, they look for a source of energy to draw from. This is what we call battery drain.
Bonjour, mademoiselle.
Is there something you need to tell us?
Comment vous appelez-vous, s'il vous plaît? Something feels funny.
Really? Can I ask what your name is?
Okay, we're running out of tape on this one, Angela. Pending EVP session and 0. All right. I think we'll head back downstairs.
Okay.
Wow, this is certainly a cave. Watch your step. Ooh, hello, Bathaven. Wow.
That one right there's a big one.
No, there's like 4 of them together.
Oh, they're cuddling.
Bat love. EVP session, Brandy and Angela in the cave system. We've heard rumors that individuals that were trying to flee from the religious persecution during World War II came here to hide out. You don't need to fear us. We're here because we want to tell your story. We want people to know how much you lost. He's got like a really weird, like, feelings and stuff. I don't know, it was almost like my stomach just like went up into my chest all of a sudden, like a roller coaster.
Really?
Yeah.
Is there anyone around my friend Brandy?
We're making an appeal to those of you who stay down here. You know, Angela, I'm not getting the same vibe that I was getting before.
No?
No.
Well, hopefully if it was anything, it'll show up for us on tape or digital.
EVP session, Barry and Dustin in Brandy's room, number 3. Bonjour, mademoiselle. Dustin and I investigated rooms 3 and 4, where people have claimed to hear a young woman yell fight and have interacted with the apparition of a young girl. Mademoiselle, we are led to believe that there are children here. If that is the case, would you get the children to make a sound for us? We are led to believe that you run screaming fight. Fight. Are you responsible for this? Was this open? Did you see it in the camera? Was it open?
I'm almost positive that cabinet wasn't open.
It wasn't open?
I don't think so. Scroll back here, hold up. No, it was open there.
It was open?
Yeah,
Yeah,
right there.
that's fine. I'll just close it.
Okay.
It's warm in here, but you still get a chill.
What was that? I thought I heard a girl's voice. That sounded almost like a little scream. I thought I heard a girl's voice. That sounded almost like a little scream. There was a moment where I heard what sounded like a short scream, almost as if it was muted. Anything outside?
No.
That sounded almost like a short scream to me.
Mademoiselle, are you trying to get your attention? Are you trying to get our attention? Is that what we asked for and you're giving it to us? Grab the edge of the bed, Dustin.
Where are we going?
We need to bring it out about a foot. The client had said that during renovation work that this seemed to stir up some of the activity within the castle.
Oh my God, that thing's heavy.
So in our experiment, we simply moved the bed further out from the wall, changed some of the chairs, see if there's anything that would spur any type of activity. Give it a few minutes and see if anything should happen.
All right, sounds good, man. So you think whatever is up here can move from room to room as we went?
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult.
All right, let's get all the teams back to Central Command.
Yeah.
So far, we've had some interesting activity, but now we get a chance to experience the same thing that the guests who stay over experience as well, and that's the goings-on that have happened after people have gone to bed.
Time for bed.
I have hiked up the spiral staircase into room 10 at the very top of the tower. This room is famous for its whispers, so I'll have the 360 mic up here, and I've got with me mini DV, and I also have the full spectrum, which is set in the corner of the room. Something bizarre just happened a few moments ago.
Time is, wow, it's 7:10 in the morning. I just haven't opened my eyes, and from over there was an odd, almost fluorescent white. It seemed to cause a reflection over here. So I reached for the camera. The camera took one shot, then stopped working. Wow, the atmosphere in this place has changed. My hair is starting to stand on the back of my neck. I'm going to get Rob and let him know that something seems to be happening. This is Rob. Barry just woke me up after noticing a lot of activity in his room and nearby. Okay. Oh, I'm here. No. We checked out the entire chateau and we didn't see anything unusual, so I'm going back to bed.
We're about to go into the evidence analysis for Le Gorge Chateau. It has been a fantastic place. I'm not quite sure what we're going to find in our analysis. Okay, so we'll get stuck into that and see what we uncover. Okay.
Joe, Barry, I think I've got something. This is in room 9, you and Rob. And this is when everything just seemed to go haywire. Like there was a knock on the clock, the walkie went off.
I remember that.
Flashlight had problems, but I got something else. Take a listen.
So you need us to get a message out.
Wow, that's...
We'll have to have a listen to this. Well, there's no disputing what that one says. I think the client is going to be very, very impressed by that.
Guys, you have got to hear this.
Okay, I know you guys had a lot of stuff to go through. How'd we do?
I think we've done exceptionally well.
That's what I like to hear. All right, where do we start?
In room 10, there was a personal experience by myself. I woke up in the early hours of the morning and a series of photographs were then taken. But what happened initially whenever I woke up, the camera started to malfunction. It got one shot off and then that was it. There was no more. And that's when it led to an EVP session and Rob, then I came down to your room and we went and searched the chateau. When I get back, I run a series of photographs yet again. Now we see everything is fine, everything is the way it should be.
Right.
And as the camera continues, and we start to see this particular drain going on, and it gets worse as it continues. Then something happens around this area. You can see where I'm lying in bed, and this starts to appear. I can't understand why it's there, and then it's gone. Everything remains still, but I can't just figure that out, why that starts to appear.
Your camera starts malfunctioning. It's going dimmer. In theory, something could be drawing energy, and then that starts coming up over your bed?
Yes.
Good thing you didn't know about it while you were sleeping.
Probably.
Well, I had an experience as well. It was almost as if something was holding me down. I was pinned to the bed.
Edward.
Hi, guys.
Good to see you.
Good, cheers.
How's it going?
Good, good.
All right. First of all, I want to thank you for having us here. And you gave us so much access to the location, so much time to really do what we do.
Pretty much going to go room by room with you.
Okay.
This happened in room 4. After our investigation, we took the equipment back to our rooms so that we could investigate before we went to bed or if anything happened while we were sleeping. Angela starts waking up. She realizes she can't move and feels hands pushing down on her chest, pinning her down. Now, she knows the difference between like sleep paralysis and something like this.
Well, I didn't actually mention to you when you first came around because it's in a slightly different area in the chateau. But I've had a girlfriend had this same pushing down sensation, and she actually woke up and saw a blonde girl above her with her hands around her neck. I didn't tell you guys about it, and she's had that same kind of experience.
It wasn't quite what we were expecting when we had her in that room.
Yeah.
Now, room 9 had some strange stuff going on. What happened was Joe's flashlight, for no apparent reason, just stops working. And then my walkie-talkie goes off with no one there. All this happens in rapid succession. When we go back and review the tape, there's something that we didn't know that we had picked up. We want you to hear that.
Okay.
Okay, we can hear you.
I can definitely hear something in the background there. And
So I'll highlight it and loop it for you so you can get a better listen to that.
this is mine.
It very well could be.
I don't know. I've never heard anything like that, to be honest.
All right, moving on to room 10. Now, again, we're doing an EVP session. Angela, one of our investigators, poses a question, very simple. I think it kind of speaks for itself.
Okay.
Can I ask what your name is?
Yeah. Yeah, it's very soft, kind of.
Right, yeah, he's not a loud, outspoken guy.
I can certainly pick that up.
Snap that one. There was more goings on. Barry, overnight, starts waking up. Says, what's that light? I know I saw something. What's going on around here? His equipment isn't working. He comes and gets me. We walk the entire chateau. Everything's fine. There doesn't seem to be anything going on. So he returns to his room. And we want to show you a series of pictures that he took during that time. Okay, you can see Barry in bed. There's no one in the room. Now, this picture getting darker doesn't make any sense. The iris is set on manual. It won't adjust itself as an automatic setting would. So in theory, it shouldn't have gotten darker. If we keep going. Now, if you look over next to Barry,
Yeah, there. There's a
what
white,
do you see?
a white kind of mist.
We go into the next photo, and it's gone.
Yeah.
We checked it out. There's nothing there that, in theory, should have had this mist. We checked it for light reflection. We checked everything. No movement in the room causes that.
But Barry didn't feel anything, or?
Nothing.
We did have some investigators going through the caves. When it came time to review the tapes, something did show itself. You're going to be hearing Brandy and Angela talking, and once again, I want you to listen for a little something else.
Okay. I couldn't pick up what was said, but yeah, I could definitely hear the whisper.
I want to play it for you again because I want you to really try to pick up on it, okay?
Definitely was a woman's voice saying, get out.
I know you do spend a lot of time down here in the caves. Just fair warning, what we're going to play for you now may be a little bit disturbing for you. And I can tell you there's no way you're going to miss this one.
Yeah, it sounded almost like a growl or something.
Any bears down there that you know of?
No, nothing at all. But, you know, to hear all this documented evidence, it really does throw a whole new light on it, doesn't it?
I mean, which begs the question, do we believe the chateau is haunted? We heard disembodied voices. We heard people walking around in rooms that were empty. We have photos of white mist. We have people telling us their names. We have knocks in response to the question, is the chateau haunted? In our opinion, oh, absolutely.
So I'll ask you the question then. What do you think we should do about this? Do you think we should just ignore it, get on with life?
No one's been hurt. Whatever is here is happy with you being here, happy with your family being here. They've grown accustomed to you. And so I think there's no real present danger.
You know, it's been a light having you here to stay.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Okay. It's absolutely brilliant what the GHI team have done and actually found here. In my opinion, a lot of the evidence is pretty hard evidence.
So what did Edward seem to think of the evidence that you showed him?
I think he was pretty impressed overall.
Yeah, he was into it.
And now he's got some proof of what's going on within his castle.
The personal experiences match the evidence. Honestly, I really enjoyed this case. All right, Brandy, I will give you credit for Bordeaux. So where are we off to next?
We're actually headed to Paris.
All right, man. Paris, France.
Yeah, man, I never thought we'd make it there.
There is no way we could come to Paris without seeing the Eiffel Tower.
Wow, this is really cool.
Let me tell you something. You cannot call yourself a driver if you have not driven here in the Arc de Triomphe. Oh, man, that's beautiful.
Oh, there's Notre Dame.
I've never seen anything like this.
And Brandy, I know you're not going to bring us to Paris without bringing a big case.
Hey guys, we have been given a rare opportunity to investigate the Paris underground. The area under Paris contains stone which about 1,000 years ago began being mined. It's really dark down there. It's really confusing. It's like a maze. People have been found dead down there as well.
Wow.
The Paris underground is known for its paranormal activity. There are claims of green apparition. They're not quite sure exactly what it is.
So GHI makes it to the Paris underground. I'm really looking forward to this. Chris, Rob, how are you?
Pleased to meet you.
Good to meet you.
Hey, Dustin.
Dustin.
How are you, Chris? All right.
Pleased to meet you. Shall I show you around?
Let's get to it.
I hope that the GHI team will uncover some solid proof of paranormal activity. That would be very interesting to me. Welcome to the Capucin quarries. The word Capucin comes from an order of monks. They had a monastery in this area. What we've got here is good quality building stone that was used to build Paris. They had exhausted the supply of stone visible on the surface. That's when they had to start burrowing underground.
What is the makeup of most of the stone that was quarried out of here?
Well, this is essentially a limestone. Underneath the streets of Paris, you've got 300 kilometers of tunnels, and it's so easy to get lost in something like this. And quite often there were accidents with the workers, including cave-ins. And this is why they were a fairly superstitious lot. And they would often put crosses to try to ward off evil and the accidents that they associated with this underground world. So this is the meeting room here. And you can see we've got this table and sort of bench set up. This is where the association that runs this quarry, this is where they have their general meetings. Widely reported amongst the quarrymen was seeing like a green sort of mist here underground. This didn't augur too well. It meant that one of you was going to die. So here we are 20 meters below the pavement. That tiny little pinprick of light up there is in fact a manhole cover. And once this would have been the access point for the workers, and quite often there were accidents and they would plummet down and of course be totally annihilated. People that I know who've been down here have reported some quite strange things. One person, they reported that they heard this like bizarre thudding noise. It's petrified them basically, and they decided to get out as soon as they could.
Have you seen or experienced anything strange?
One time when I was down here, and I had a digital voice recorder. That same night, I actually listened back to what I'd recorded, and on one of the extracts, I found like a strange kind of glitch, almost like a voice.
Is it possible you could send that file over to us so we could get a listen?
No problem, no problem, of course. Well, that's about it. That's all I've got to show you.
Thank you so much for taking us around.
It's been a pleasure.
If you show us the way out, we'll grab the rest of the team, get our equipment, and get going. All right, Barry, we've never done anything like this. Paris underground equipment.
We don't have power down there, so we're going to be leaving the DVR system up here.
Okay.
For the folks that have flashlights, bring backup batteries. If you get lost down there and your batteries go out, that's it. And our radios aren't going to get through the walls either.
All right, are you guys ready for a serious workout?
Yeah.
The dangers here are certainly real. There have been cave-ins. There's low ceilings. They're going to be hard to see in the dark. People could knock themselves clean out around here. And we're doing this 20 meters underneath the Earth's surface. I mean, this is just straight rock above me. And the possibility of getting lost down here is a very real one. People have died down here from getting lost, so I want to make sure that everyone's being real safe. Okay, usually I try and use the thermal somewhat as well to know where I'm going.
Yeah, so you don't walk into the walls?
Yeah, this is useless.
Just one big solid color. You know, often when we use the thermal camera, we use it to pinpoint drafts and things that may cause people to think things are paranormal. Using the thermal camera down here, it's one solid color. There's no air movement, and it doesn't help you see anything at all. It's a good place to turn an ankle easy, too.
If we get out of here injury-free, I'll be amazed. This is not only the darkest place I think I've ever investigated, I think this is the darkest place I have ever been. It is just definition of pitch dark down here.
Wow.
Oh, it's getting really narrow.
I think if all the tunnels was like this, I'd stop panicking a little.
I would too. Okay. Joe and I were investigating in this table down in an area in one of the tunnels. People have seen a green man in a green mist.
Where's that?
What?
I thought I heard something in front of you.
In front of me.
You kind of get the chills that you think somebody's staring at you in the dark because you don't know where you are. It's totally dark wherever you turn. Hello? Could you come forward?
What was that? It sounded like really fast, but almost like it was above us.
I was going to say the same thing. Sounds like it's above us.
This is crazy. Joe and I were investigating in the tunnel system here in Paris, and as we're walking through, we started to hear a sound, almost like what you would think would maybe be footsteps. Holy cow, it goes even deeper.
It sounded like somebody was down in the tunnels or off in a chamber somewhere.
Dead end.
A dead end?
Yep.
When we checked it out, there was nothing there. So we'll have to pay close attention to our audio. To me, it sounded like somebody was either tiptoeing through the cave system or maybe was standing and sneaking around. It was really odd.
All right, let's get to work.
I always get jumpy in tunnels.
At one point, Barry and I veered off what we had on the map, got into some of the deeper tunnels.
EAP session number 2. Bonjour, monsieur.
If you can understand us, we would like you to approach us.
Je m'appelle Barry. Voici monsieur Rob Demarest. Comment ça va?
Nice breeze, huh?
I got really breeze.
I just felt a breeze on my arm.
Stop.
What the hell was that? What did that sound like, dude?
It's like screaming.
Barry and I had heard a scream. We keep investigating just in case it's a team member in distress, so we'd have to go and help. Oh, that's where our sound's coming in from. Didn't know we were right next to this. We were right next to a tunnel that goes all the way up to the surface, and the sound was a busy Paris street echoing down into the chamber we're in.
It's definitely from here.
Yeah. Could hear the car engine. All right, guys, let's get the lights on and get backed up. You do not know what pitch dark is until you've been down here with the light. So for me, it gave for a better investigation. You were really concentrating. If there was going to be a light, you'd see it instantly. If there was a sound, you'd pick it up because you were kind of relying on those senses. So it was a different kind of investigation, and I think the team and myself really got a lot from it.
We're about to go into the evidence analysis of the Paris Underground. It's going to fall back onto the data that we've collected and what evidence will go forward to the client and help explain, at least in some part, what was going on within the tunnels.
Hey guys, Angela and I were in the tunnel. I clearly remember asking to show a sign, and I think you can hear something.
Did you hear something?
Oh, yeah. I can hear that. You know, maybe there is something down here.
Hey, Chris, good to see you again.
Good to see you.
How you doing?
Very well.
So, besides being lost and smashing our heads against the ceiling quite often, we had a really good investigation. I mean, there were some experiences down here that were tough to explain at the time. Joe Chin and Angela were investigating together. They were hearing knocks, bangs. So what we want to do is play that for you now and see what you think.
Did you hear something?
We were able to isolate that, figure out what that was. And in fact, it was bits of rock falling and hitting the ground.
Okay.
Barry and I were investigating. We heard clearly a woman scream. We start looking around and discover the manhole cover that goes all the way up to the street, and that was where the sound was coming from.
So it penetrated all that way down?
All the way down. One of the other things we wanted to make sure we checked out was the file that you had sent, that you recorded down here when you were discussing the history.
Yeah.
What I want to do first is play that original file that you sent over to us, just so we can get a good listen at what that original file was. And like we talked about, it sounds almost as if it's really, something's almost like sped up. So Barry took that sample and he slowed it down just so we could really get a listen as to what was in there, to see if there was anything paranormal going on, if there was another voice coming through or anything like that. What I want to do is play that for you now.
Okay.
I don't know if you're able to discern anything more out of that from listening to it right away. In this area here, we can clearly hear your voice saying better descriptions. I'll play that for you again so you can try to listen for those key words in that area.
Okay.
It sounds as if just a malfunction was in your recorder.
Because I tried to recreate that malfunction, and there's no fast-forward button on the thing. That was what I found a bit bizarre.
Right. It doesn't record and fast forward. What happens is when these things get banged around a bit, the card, I guess, gets shifted a little bit in there, and it can create these kind of glitches.
Okay.
One thing that we always do on every case is look a little bit into the history of the location. In particular, with the very superstitious miners that were down here, seeing this green mist, you know, they thought it was an omen of death because a lot of them would pass away shortly afterwards. And down here especially, you know, we have limestone, and one of the things that I was looking up was limestone is very porous stone, and being so far underground here, one of the things that you'll come across is a chlorine gas, which can be a yellowish, greenish color. And it, you know, just in the natural formation of the Earth's crust, the chlorine gases would tend to get trapped within the porous stone. So when these guys were down here quarrying and digging this stuff out, and they'd see something like that, and they were superstitious lot as it was, you know, obviously they'd make a little more out of it. But the fact is, it is a very toxic gas, to the point that within 2 hours afterwards, anybody who's around it, depending on the level of exposure, could develop pulmonary edema, which would start to flood their lungs with fluid. So it is very viable that, you know, they did see people who saw this gas and then would die afterwards.
Okay, that's interesting.
You know, so we do feel completely safe in this section. There's no more gas. As you said, it's relatively secure. And we don't think there's any paranormal activity in this section.
Okay.
Does that rule it out for the entire underground? Absolutely not. However, we do feel comfortable saying that this section that we investigated is not haunted.
Okay. So I can come down here by myself then?
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Just make sure you don't get lost.
Okay, I will.
Chris, thank you for everything. You know, it's something...
Well, it's been a real pleasure.
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed it.
We've always wanted to do the Paris Underground, and for you to bring us in and give us that opportunity is tremendous for us, and we appreciate it.
Anytime.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks a lot, Chris.
Shall we go?
I was impressed by the professionalism, and I think what they came to was an honest conclusion for this small section of the network, as they said. And maybe they'll find some ghosts when I invite them back to Paris in another part of the network here.
Well, Chris got the answers he was looking for. I think we helped him out, closing one more part of the mystery of that section of the Paris Underground.
Yeah, it was a cool opportunity because everybody gets to see the buildings above ground. Not everybody gets to go where we were.
Yeah, no, and I think we came up with some viable alternatives for the stuff that was getting experienced down there. You know, at the end of the day, it was a good chance for us, it was a good chance for the team, and it's a good investigation.
Yeah, man.
All right, so Brandy is saying that we're going to perhaps our biggest case to date, and that would have to be pretty big after this one.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what she's got in store for us, man. It's going to be incredible.